Just before we get talking about Oxford, Darren, well, I think you deserve a right of reply, really, on a couple of the comments that Liam Richardson said about the game at the weekend, I think he said going down to ground too easily, some of the players, never nice to see. What's your take on that? Do you just brush it off as the sort of rough and tumble and heat of the moment sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to be careful when you start talking about the opposition's players. I think he needs to concentrate on his own players and let me concentrate on mine. I didn't. There's no evidence of that at all. We had three possible penalty kicks. We felt that the referee was very lenient in terms of how many. They had 26 fouls in the game. That were given. So no, listen. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I think it's important to focus on your own players. It was an aggressive game. It was a passionate game. Everyone wants to win for different reasons. So I have no issue with that at all. No problems at all.
Yeah, and it ends up being a backhanded compliment, really. When you're at the top of the league, when you've won 6 on the bounce, you always know you're there to be shot at, really.
Absolutely, and we knew it'd be a tough game. I spoke before the game about how physical Wigan have been recently. They've certainly had a reaction from the heavy defeat to Hull, and I said that to the players as well. We knew they were going to be at it. We wanted to test them early doors because I've had some, Blackpool and Hull 2 5-0 defeats, but they were at it and they had a right goal, and it was a tough game as we expected. And credit to my players, they stuck to the task. And as I said after the game, great bit of quality to get his equaliser, and then Dembele's does what he does, great skill, got in the box. At that point he goes across his defender, either leave him or you get what you deserve, and it was a penalty kick.
Now, I'm sure you're going to tell me that nothing has been achieved as yet. In fact, you underlined that at the weekend. But just to put things in perspective, it's coming up to a year since last season was halted owing to COVID. You had real momentum at that stage. It was, of course, a real frustration that the season had to be paused. To have gained that momentum again, and I know the number of games played is slightly different, but to be back in the same position, in fact, back in a better position, how much work has gone into that? How much of an achievement is it?
Well, and the first part of your question, how much work? A lot. The preparation, the fact that the season got curtailed, we had to prepare in a different way. Myself and my staff, it was obviously a change with my assistant as well. And I have to say, Mark's come in and been absolutely outstanding. My staff have been great. So there was a lot of preparation went into the season. We haven't achieved anything yet. The second part of your question, and hopefully we do achieve what we set out to do, but nothing's been achieved as yet. And I just keep saying to the players, look, can we continue improving? Can we kick on now? Not let up. And I spoke to them again this morning about this is now we need to put our foot down and see if we can take each game as it comes, but don't be thinking you're tired. You're not. You're flying. You look fresh. The squad looked good. We had a game on Friday against Ipswich, and Reedy and Fraser Blake Tracy played in that. They were outstanding. And I praised them for that within the group today. We're going to need everyone. There's no doubt about that, and that's what you get a squad for.
And one of the things that will have been particularly pleasing about the recent run, just the number of different types of wins, the way that you found to win games. You've had to do different things to find different ways to win the games, and you've risen to the challenge each time.
Yeah, we have. I mean, you look back at the last few games, obviously we've been level in the last 4 games at halftime, and we've gone on to win them. That's what I mean about being physically good place. Saturday was different because the 3 previous games to that, we've scored very early in the second half and won the games comfortably, if I'm going to be honest. But Saturday was a totally different win. And, with 10 minutes to go, you're 1-0 down. And you're thinking it's going to be a difficult one to win this now. When Jono scores, you're thinking, okay, I think it's going to be important that we get a point at least. And then we go on and win it. So, but one thing I will say is what I've noticed is when we score a goal, we have the ability to score one very quickly after that. We've done that this season. I look at the last home game before Wigan. We did it obviously then, 2 goals, I think, with 3 or 4 minutes. Wimbledon, 2 goals in 3 or 4 minutes. We've got that ability to do that, which is, again, credit to the players.
Yeah, it's a really useful attribute to have, because if you score once, there's still the opportunity for the opposition to reorganise, to get a foothold. But if you can do the two in quick succession, suddenly then that's a real problem for whoever you're up against.
Absolutely, and it's a great trait to have, and hopefully it continues.
With Oxford, then it seems like Oxford, one of these opponents that you're always playing, a side you just know inside out.
Yeah, a good team, a very good team, you know, and obviously they drew on Saturday. The game before that they lost, but before then they were on an incredible run of wins, and they're right up there as I expected them to be. So yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. They've got a real identity to how they play, that won't change. You know, watch the last two games, and they're a good team.
Yeah, and they'll feel that they've got momentum at just the right time. Okay, perhaps not so much over the past three games, but they seem to have got over the playoff final hangover and have built and built.
Yeah, they've recruited more than normal. I would have to say they've recruited quite a few players, a lot of quick attacking wide players. They had a little change on Saturday to how they would normally play, but again, they're a handful up front. Their wide players are a handful. And they've got some good players. So, listen, it's a tough game. We know that. We're looking forward to the games at the moment, and we're taking each one as it comes. We have to try and take care of Oxford as we have done the last 6 games.
Team news-wise, COVID-wise, all okay?
Touch wood, yeah. 1 or 2 niggles, Peter, as you would expect, with so many games so close together. Everyone, COVID-wise, negative, which is good. So yeah, we crack on to another game.